Welcome back, guys. We are in our cozy reading room. This is a Zoom background. I've got a green screen. But anyways, um, it's very late. Like after 1:30 in the morning late. Kids don't do this. Mrs. Keller is a trained professional night owl with great um power. As an adult comes great responsibility, and Mrs. Keller is still learning this. I have recorded a video so far reading more scary stories to tell in the dark. I have recorded almost an hour-long video playing 2 More Days in Stardew Valley. I have recorded a video with the Wily Bunnies, Pip and Nadja. I have rabbit fur on me. I have just brain fog from it being so late and having such a long, full day. But I really would like to read more The Wild Robot. I gotta know what's gonna happen with Roz, Brightbill, and the rest of the crew. So if it's okay with you, I'm going to read some more. And I hope you'll join me, even though I've got some brain fog and things going on, being up so late recording. The Wild Robot. Where we left off was with chapter 42. And this chapter is called The Strange Family. And I might take a few sips of coffee now and again in my amazing Stardew Valley themed coffee mug that I got from Etsy forever ago. I love it. I thought that it was too perfect to not use today. It was a sweltering afternoon, and the heat had put everyone in a bad mood. Roz was standing in the shade watching her son out on the water. The other goslings were teasing him about something when they suddenly burst into laughter, and Brightbill turned and hurried home with a stormy expression on his face. He stomped into the garden and right past his mother without saying a word. "What is wrong, Brightbill?" said Roz as she followed her son into the nest. "Nothing," he squawked. "Leave me alone." "Tell me what is wrong." "I don't want to talk about it." "Maybe I can help." "Mama, the other goslings were making fun of me." "What did they say?" "They called you a monster and then laughed at me for having a monster mother." "They should know by now that I am not a monster. Would you like me to talk to them?" "No, don't do that. That'll just make things worse." The robot sat next to her son. "Mama, I know you're a robot, but I don't understand what a robot is." "A robot is a machine. I was not born, I was built." "Who built you?" "I do not know. I do not remember being built. My very first memory is waking up on the northern shore of this island." "Were you smaller back then?" said the gosling. "No, I have always been this size." Roz looked down at her weathered body. "However, I used to be shiny like the surface of the pond. I used to stand straighter than a tree trunk. I used to speak a different language. I have not grown bigger, but I have changed very much." The robot wanted to explain things to her son, but the truth was that she understood very little about herself. It was a mystery how she had come to life on the rocky shore. It was a mystery why her computer brain knew certain things but not others. She tried to answer Brightbill's questions, but her answers only left him more confused. "What do you mean you're not alive?" squawked Brightbill. "It is true," said Roz. "I am not an animal. I do not eat or breathe. I am not alive." You move and talk and think, Mama. You're definitely alive. It was impossible for such a young goose to understand technical things like computer brains and batteries and machines. The gosling was much better at understanding natural things like islands and forests and parents. Parents. The word suddenly left Brightbill feeling uneasy. You're not my real mother, are you? There are many kinds of mothers, said the robot. Some mothers spend their whole lives caring for their young. Some lay eggs and immediately abandon them. Some care for their offspring of other mothers. I have tried to act like your mother, but no, I am not your birth mother. Do you know what happened to my birth mother? Roz told Brightbill about that fateful day in spring, about how the rocks had fallen and only one egg had survived, about how she'd put the egg in a nest and carried it away, about how she'd watched over the egg until a tiny gosling hatched. Brightbill listened carefully until she finished. Should I stop calling you Mama? Said the gosling. I will still act like your mother, no matter what you call me, said the robot. I think I'll keep calling you Mama. I think I will keep calling you Son. We're a strange family, said Brightbill with a little smile. But I kind of like it that way. Me too, said Roz. That's the part of the movie that's coming out that I'm probably going to start weeping at. Gonna be honest. Chapter 43, The Gosling Takes Off. It must be hard to have a robot for a mother. I think the hardest part for Brightbill was all the mystery that surrounded Roz. Where had she come from? What was it like to be a robot? Would she always be there for him? These questions filled the gosling's mind, and his feelings for his mother swung between love and confusion and anger. I'm sure many of you know what that's like. Roz could sense that Brightbill was struggling, and so she spent a lot of time talking with him about families and about geese and about robots. There are other robots on this island? The gosling asked during one of their talks. He'd been sitting beside his mother in the garden, but now stood and faced her. Yes, there are others on the island, said Roz, but they are inoperative. Inoperative? For a robot, being inoperative is like being dead. Where are the dead robots? They are on the northern shore. I want to see them. I do not think that is a good idea. Why not? You are still a gosling. You are too young to see dead robots. I will take you to them when you are older. Mama, I'm not a gosling anymore. Brightbill puffed out his chest. I'm already 4 months old. I am sorry, said Roz, but you cannot go. Brightbill stomped around the garden and squawked. This isn't fair. I promise I will take you to see them when you are older, said the robot. But I want to go now. Please calm down. You can't even fly. I could take off and you wouldn't be able to stop me. Roz stood, and her long shadow fell across her son. The gosling could feel his emotions swinging wildly, and for a moment he was actually afraid of his own mother. Without thinking, he sprinted toward the pond, beat his wings, and flew away. Chapter 44, The Runaway. Your son will be fine, said Loudwing. You know how they are at this age. I do not know, said Roz. Please tell me how they are at this age. Oh, right. Well, Brightbill is growing fast. It's only natural for adolescent goslings to be a little moody. He just needs to be alone for a while. You've raised a wonderful son. I know he'll come home soon. Try not to worry. But Roz did worry. At least she worried as much as a robot is capable of worrying. Brightbill had never run away or flown away, and suddenly Roz was computing all the things that could go wrong. A violent storm, a broken wing, a predator. She had to find her son before something bad happened. There was only one place Brightbill could have gone: the robot gravesite. So Roz galloped northward. She leapt over rocks and ducked under branches and charged through meadows without ever slowing her pace. She raced all the way across the island until she finally stepped into the sea cliffs above the gravesite. And there was Brightbill, perched on the edge, looking at the robot parts scattered on the shore below. His eyes were wet. "Don't be angry," he said as his mother walked over. "I am not angry, but you should not have flown off." Like that. You could have gotten hurt, or worse. I was worried sick. "I'm sorry, Mama." "It is okay," said Roz. "It is only natural for goslings you are to be a little moody. Mama, I need to understand what you are, and I think it might help to see the other robots." "You are right, it might help. Why are you not down there?" "I was about to go," said Brightbill, "but I got nervous. I want you to go with me." "Let us go down there," said Roz, "together." Chapter 45: The Dead Robots. The gosling floated on the breeze beside his mother as she climbed down the cliffside. Down they went past ledges and seagulls and tough little trees until they were standing on the rocky shore with the cliffs looming behind them. The gravesite had changed. Roz's crate was gone, lost to weather or waves. Some of the robot parts were gone too. Other parts were gritty with sand, or were tangled in the seaweed, or were inhabited by small, scuttling creatures. One smashed torso still had a head and legs attached. Roz and Brightbill huddled around the corpse and studied the mess of tubes spilling out. "This thing used to look like you?" said Brightbill. "Yes, we are the same type of robot," said Roz. "And now this robot is dead." "In a way." "Will you ever die, Mama?" "I think so." "Will I die?" "All living things die eventually." The gosling's face scrunched with worry. "Brightbill, you are going to live a long and happy life." Roz laid a hand on her son's back. "You should not worry about death." The gosling's face relaxed. And then he pointed to a small round shape on the back of the dead robot's head. "What's that?" he said. Roz leaned in closer. "That is a button." "Which is a knob on a piece of machinery that can be pressed to operate it." Brightbill began pressing the button. Click, click, click. "Nothing is happening," he said. "Probably because the robot is dead." Click, click, click. "Mama, do you have a button?" Brightbill watched as his mother's head turned all the way around and a small button came into view. "You've got one," he said. "I've never noticed it before." "Neither did I," said the robot. The gosling giggled. "Oh, Mama, you have so much to learn about yourself." Roz reached for the button on her head, but her hand automatically stopped before she could touch it. She tried with her other hand, but it automatically stopped as well. "It seems I cannot press the button," she said. "Would you like to try?" "What will happen?" "I think that I will shut down, but I think you could simply press the button again to restart me." You think? Squawked Bright Bill. What if you're wrong? What if you wake up different? What if you never wake up, Mama? I don't want to shut you down. Roz turned her head back around and saw that Bright Bill's face was once again scrunched with worry. She knelt beside him and said, Of course you do not have to shut me down. I am sorry if I scared you. Are you okay? I'm okay. Bright Bill sniffled and wiped his eyes, and then he heard splashing. Otters were playing in the ocean. He had never seen otters before. He stared as they swam and dove and sloshed around with one another. They seemed to be having a ridiculous amount of fun, and suddenly the gosling was smiling again. Hello, my name is Brightbill, he shouted over the waves, and this is my mama. Her name is Roz. The last time those otters had seen Roz, they had thought she was some kind of monster, but since then she'd heard that she was remarkably friendly and that she'd even adopted an orphaned gosling. And so the otters smiled at Roz and Brightbill, and they swam straight over and splashed onto the rocks. Hello there, said the biggest otter. Nice to meet you both. Actually, Roz, we've met once before, but you might not remember me. My name's Shelley. I do remember you, said the robot, but I am glad to learn your name, Shelley. You know each other? Said the gosling. These otters were the first animals I ever met, said Roz. They were also the first animals who ever ran away from me. Yeah, sorry about that, said Shelley as the other otters sniffed the robot's legs. You know, Brightbill, when we first saw your mom, she was packed in a box and surrounded by soft, squishy stuff. Brightbill's brow furrowed. You wouldn't believe how small she looked all folded up in there. Brightbill's nose sniffled. We thought she was dead, but when we reached into the box, she came to life and climbed out looking like a sparkling monster. Brightbill's eyes welled up with tears, and then he felt his mother scoop him into her arms. Are you okay? She whispered in his ear. I think I've learned enough about robots for today, he whispered back. I am sorry, otters, said Roz, but we really must be going. Oh, I hope I didn't upset the little guy, said Shelley. I thought he'd like to hear how we first met. Brightbill will be fine, said Roz, using a friendly voice. But we have had a very busy day, and we should go home. It was nice to see you again. Goodbye. Roz turned, and with her long strides, she carried her son away from the gravesite and over to the base of the sea cliffs. Would you like to sit on my shoulder as I climb? Said the robot. I feel like flying, said the gosling. I'll meet you at the top. Brightbill flapped his wings and disappeared in the sky. Roz began scaling the wall. Up she went, expertly negotiating rocky columns and ledges until she hoisted herself onto the cliff top, where two young bears were waiting. And unfortunately, that's where we have to stop today. So I hope you enjoyed today's couple chapters of The Wild Robot. Thank you for joining me. I hope you'll join me next time, and stay safe, have fun, and I love you. Have a great day. Goodbye.